She was talking about, well, he got that big income, so he made me sit down somewhere and rub his feet.
I'm only dealing with rich men.
You're a bitch.
The term bitch. It all depends on how you're using it. It could be empowering, right? But it can also be degrading.
It's a game.
Being a bitch is what makes you a bitch, regardless of what you've accomplished.
It's a hunting trophy. That's all. It's a hunting trophy. You couldn't catch the rabbit. You couldn't catch the deer, but I did.
And we are back with another episode. And today we are talking about the book Why Men Love Bitches by Sherry Argov. Now, this was a hot topic.
Men love bitches. Let's be honest. They want a woman that is going to prioritize herself. It's the only way that you garner respect in a relationship.
You be mean when you want something. You be nice when you barely know them. Every 5 times be nice. Every 4 times be mean. Once you get to know them.
Well, if I know my worth and I know my value, then he has to do all the work. He has to jump through the hoops. He has to prove to me this, that, and the other.
Now, before we get any further, please make sure you take the time right now and hit the like button. That's right. Hit the like button and subscribe.
I am your host, Shannon P., and we have your co-host, Ifa Bukola, on the line.
Greetings, peace.
And it's supposed to be, a top-selling book, breaking down why men are preferring the hard-to-get girls, the ones that are more mean and act like bitches, if you will. I hate that word. But I'm shocked that they have a book out there titled that, and so I'm going to use it. I don't want to use it as often, but her name is Sherry Argov. Sherry Argov. But why do men like bitches? So basically, let me get into my panel list. We have some guests today. We have another Will, and we have a Terrell on the line, and we're going to get their perspective as well as some of my regular panelists on the phone. But how would we define mean girl?
Well, I would look at meanness as unwarranted aggression, or unwarranted aggression.
Entitlement usually plays a role in there too.
I like that, entitlement. Girls who act like they are entitled. Mm-hmm. Would that come from a person who has a personality of being selfish?
Oh, yeah,
Not
for sure.
Yeah, really, but it definitely could play a role.
Mm-hmm.
Or could it come from a girl? What about a girl who is just spoiled? Maybe her father taught her, set the bar high and told her what to expect from men and not to accept anything less. So she could just be spoiled by her father or her brothers. Could that be a stereotype if she comes off as a bitch to a man who may say, you know what, if you ain't this and that, don't step to me?
I wouldn't necessarily say that that's a mean girl. I mean, you just setting standards and not going to tolerate anything, less. I wouldn't say that that's a mean girl, though.
I like that you said that, Terrell. So would you say that that's more confidence and more being a challenge, or?
Absolutely. You want more, you demand more. And if they're not meeting your expectations, then, I'm not being mean because I say, you're not my type or I'm not interested in you.
I don't really think it does, because when you really have confidence, you don't feel a need to deliver aggressively because you're confident. But you could feel a need to deliver aggressively or overbearing when you feel like you lack the tools or the technology, the skills, the wisdom, to get what you want.
Mm-hmm. Now, Hannah, I was talking about earlier, I don't like the word bitch, but that's the title of the book. And it's not like we don't never hear it, right? It's in everyday society. It's in songs. It's book titles now. It's titles in general. Do you think that the term bitch empowers women or alienates women?
I think it depends on who you're talking to, but both. Because you have a generation of women who like it's all like you said, it's everywhere. It's all in the music, it's all in the media, it's all over, just everywhere. And there is a there's a sense of community between like with women when they call, oh, I'm a bad bee or whatever. It's like a stigma behind. I think the bad bee is what everybody, it's like, it was what a woman feels empowered by being bad. But just being straight up, you just a bee? No, I don't think, women just want to be that. Or if they say, yeah, I'm a bee, if they feel empowered by that, it usually has something behind it, like the desire to control, or maybe just learned behavior, or like attention seeking, which is alienating.
Mo, what's your thought?
I think it can be both contextually. I think in the book, it's probably more so empowerment. I think it's in the book. This book is actually something one of my friends told me to read like a few years ago. And I never finished it, but I do like have vague memory of some of the chapters. And I think that it was more so like a dark feminine kind of approach to it, like accessing a certain part of you and demonstrating traits of like independence and not making yourself too available, being available but not too available, that kind of thing. So I think it's more so around like empowerment than anything.
Yeah. Terrell?
Yeah, I agree with Mo. I think in that sense it is an empowerment word.
So what's that definition or the word where two things, same word but different meaning, and it all depends on how it's used contextually?
Double entendre.
Yeah. All right, see, this is why we got the youth on the line. That's why we got y'all. Thank you. Because when you hear the word, okay, I'm a bad bee, I'm a bad bitch, that's empowerment. But when you hear someone, you being a bitch, that's alienation. That's being negative, So that's amazing how that one word can be, defined in many different ways. So do you guys think that because the book basically uses the terminology bitch in a empowering way, of course. It's suggesting that, you have confidence, that women should have confidence and independence. And that is what makes them attractive to a man. This is why men will be drawn to you by having your confidence or being independent, not being thirsty, if you will. Those are attractive traits. Would you agree to that, men on the line, Will?
Yeah, so the thing is there's a thin line between confidence and overconfidence. So confidence is attractive, period. Like no matter what you look like, no matter who you are, confidence, even with men, like from man to man, a confident friend, that's what you're more liable to hang out with your confident friend than your overconfident friend or the friend that doesn't have any confidence at all. So confidence in itself is attractive, period, like all the way across the board.
Confidence is very attractive. It's a very attractive trait, yes.
But what about a woman who's more assertive and independent? You want to pull a chair out for her. I'm good, I got it. Or you want to buy her a drink and she's like, I got my own money. At what point does it become unattractive?
Well, those kind of things, I look at them more like I would read them as insecurities, possibly. Something is being guarded, and I wouldn't even bother prying into it. I just wouldn't deal with it at all. Really.
Yeah, I agree with what he said. That it wouldn't necessarily be something. Well, I guess for lack of other words, it would be unattractive because it would definitely be a put off. Like I wouldn't even dig into that. Like I would have to already love you to care enough to invest into finding out why you don't want me to open the door for you. Like that's insane.
Absolutely.
Do you guys think that social media, I don't know, shapes the perception of what a bad bitch is? You know, is social media painting it in a positive or negative light? I feel like Instagram and TikTok kind of glamorizes certain traits and characteristics of a girl who's, you know, she's I don't know, just with attitude, or, you know, she's saying what a man can do for her in the beginning, and if he ain't, then keep it moving. Like sometimes that bitch mentality, that confidence, that setting the standards, women are walking in with that and they're verbalizing it. And to me, I think that's a facade. He gotta have this. You ain't got this, then you can't. I just think it's a facade. It's not real confidence. Hannah, you wanted to say?
Yes, I 100% agree with this. It's a facade. Most of the things, or a lot of the things that we see on social media are facades. It's not really the reality of what people are going through, think, experienced, or, you know, are doing. I think that a lot of people talk based off of what they want, not what they actually have. Because some of these things are just not realistic that people talk about. And on social media, there's no fact checking. There's no, you know, nothing like that. Especially with when it comes to social media, like if you want to get noticed, you gotta do more to grasp people's attention. And I think when people feel overlooked, they just overcompensate. So that's an issue.
Like you were saying,
I think that from listening to the short clip of what she was describing, or the description, you know, with the book or the content, this is a person who's looking at the appearance of a woman who has boundaries, standards, or limited access, you know, to herself. These are common themes that you're going to run into with someone who learned lessons in life about respecting their own time, their own boundaries, and realizing, their value, obviously, you know, if they've created value for themselves, because just because you're born doesn't mean you have value, you know. But I really think that there's a misunderstanding, and that, okay, I'm looking at this confident person, but because I don't have the understanding of what's behind that, I'm coming up short on what it means to be that confident person. So now I'm labeling it as the B. You understand? So that's what this, you know, what it really seems like. Someone is looking superficially at something that they may not understand how to portray.
Terrell, you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was just going to kind of touch on where the facade on social media. I think people allow you to see what they want you to see. So you're on social media and you're, you know, this confident woman that's demanding, you know, this XYZ. But when you set that phone down, you're the complete opposite of that person. Like you're insecure and you are, you know, begging to get attention. Like they put out what they want you to see. I mean, I know people personally that will get on social media and you would think, oh, you know, they've got it all together. But in real life, it's the exact opposite. The exact opposite.
Ladies, it's true. Men love bitches. They fall in love with bitches. I'm serious. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Because here's what you're not understanding. You could give a guy wifey qualities from the jump. You could be the nice, affectionate girl. You know, I'm so sweet. I'm over all the time. What do you need, honey? You need a foot rub? You need this, need that? Let me tell you something. That's fun. And a guy's going to accept that. And he's going to roll with that. But what is he going to do? He's going to chew you up. He's going to spit you out. And he's going to say, hey, thanks for that. That was really nice. But There's just no chemistry. There's that extra feeling, that extra mojo that I needed in the relationship. And how many times that happened to you, girls? Probably all the time. What you don't get is that we want to turn bitches into wifey type. That's what we truly want. That's who we're really gonna fall in love with. The girl that makes it hard, the girl that's independent, the girl that's doing her own shit, the girl that knows her own value, the girl that does not allow us in very quickly, the girl that takes her time and makes sure that we're not fucking around. That's the girl that we're gonna fall in love with.
Really interesting. What do you think?
Well, he started painting a picture of something very obvious. And it's, he's describing a polarity. You have the, like the twin flame dynamic of the runner and the chaser. Okay. The narcissist is no better than the codependent. The codependent is no better than the narcissist. They're just a negative image of each other. So you can't go from one extreme to become the other extreme. There's a middle ground, and the middle ground has to consist of an understanding behind that behavior. It's not to, again, put on a costume. The wig, the lashes, all this other stuff is it's just wigs and lashes on the personality. It's wigs and lashes on the character. It's fake. It's phony. Why do you want to have limited access to yourself? Because you want to manipulate the reaction that you get out of another person? Because you want to portray a mystery of value about yourself, while when he gets there, he finds that there is no value? Now you're up shit street. You understand? So are you here to put on a costume, or are you here to learn the mystery behind women who do express that sincerely because they went through processes in life that taught them that that's what they should do? Authenticity.
Anybody else want to comment about what the guy said? Let's just face it. He done used you up. You done gave all your energy being the nice girl, the pick me. You done catered to everything he's asked for. And at the end of the day, you became boring. And, there's no challenge. Men, we always hear it, right? Ladies, we always hear it. Men like a chase. Men like a challenge. Do men like women who, cater to them and give them everything they ask for? I thought that's what you're looking for.
Nah. Give me what I'm asking for, but also stand for something. I mean, don't just stand for everything I want from you. You know what I'm saying? Definitely have some type of what's the word? Autonomy about yourself. I don't know why. I'm trying to think why wouldn't I want
yeah, absolutely you would want that. I just think that
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't raise my hand. I'm sorry. I think that the women that are easy, that are, day one, doing every and anything. I mean, I'm 50 years old. Back in the days, you used to have to wine and dine us before we would, come up off of anything. And now they are giving you everything day one, like everything. So it's like, what do I have? Like, if you're doing this with me, you're probably doing this with everybody. I don't have anything to look forward to.
There it is.
So, I mean, yeah, the one that has a little more of a challenge. Yeah, because I tell, I have older, young adult daughters. I mean, they're 30, but I'm like, sit on your butt, cross your legs, and see how far you'll get in this relationship. If you're doing everything on day one, they won't be around long. I promise you that. And that's been the history. Cross them legs, and demand a little more, and see how much further you may get. You may get what you're looking for.
You got to probably become that confident, restraining girl, and not the pick me, not giving into. If Bukola, you was gonna say.
Yeah, I think that when romance is the basis of why people come together, I don't think that you're going to find your way out of that maze. It's going to remain that sense of dissatisfaction. I'm bored. It was fun at first, and now I'm looking for the front door. I'm ready to get out of here because the thrill is. But I think that when we become more authentic and What are we coming together to do? What are we coming together to accomplish? Why did we, see something in each other? What was it? And when we come together and it's about you and me, we have a problem already, because I'm not enough. I'm not enough for your talents, gifts, and powers to be poured into. And you're not enough for mine to be poured into. But if we can figure out what we come together to do, to accomplish, yeah, that's enough. And the word boredom shouldn't occur, because there's too much process, work, commitment, devotion to what we came together to do that keeps us interested, because overall challenge is what, addresses boredom. But you're not going to get the challenge out of, hey, I'm standing here, make me happy. I'm standing here, put a smile on my face. Hey, it's another day, make me feel excited. That's my job to make me happy, not yours.
Right. Now, go ahead.
It also feels like routine. It doesn't feel like you're actually feeling these emotions that they're constantly. I'm not having to do anything for it or prove myself in any type of way to gain this type of treatment.
Yeah. You want to earn it.
Exactly. I mean, because it's what I said earlier. She said that if you're doing it off front, like, are you doing this for everybody? Did everybody get this treatment? And now I kind of feel like I'm wondering. I'm looking into your interactions with any and everybody else.
It kind of almost feels like, to me, it's like you were a one-show pony. You showed everything. So now it's like, is this it? What my mama always said, why buy the cow if you get the milk for free? You done showed him what kind of milk he's getting, and that's it. So, I don't know. But now, let me ask this question. Do you guys think that a woman being a bitch has to do with status, meaning education, her career, her salary? Do you find women who are have a little bit more education, have a certain type of career?
I think I've seen it both ways. I've seen it from, women that are a little more accomplished, but I've also seen women that are accomplished that, don't demand more, because they feel like, well, they're in competition with these younger girls that are, doing everything out the gate. So, well, I have to do this too in order to get the attention that I'm looking for. And then you find that some that are, doing well to do in life that are like, no, I'm not, because I want more. And so I've seen it both ways.
No, what do you think?
I think that you can come off bitchier when your confidence is manufactured. So I think
like that.
Like if you are someone who has a certain level of education or salary, I actually think women who genuinely learned through process, through life experience, that, they deserve a certain man, or even if their expectation is just a man who makes as much or more than they do, because it's not manufactured, because it's genuine, I think that it would come off a little more natural, versus people who are trying to emulate what they see on social media, or people who are, trying to copy the city girls or the next big thing. I think it's all connected to bitchiness is also connected to class and attainability, or the lack of attainability. So, when City Girls first came out, I'm speaking for the younger generation, but when City Girls first came out and it was BBLs and lace bust down 30-inch wigs, I'll only deal with rich men type of attitude. Everybody was trying to replicate that, and men were it seemed like they were fiending after that because that's what was not obtainable. But now in 2024, we're surrounded by BBLs. We're in a pool of 30-inch bust downs. And so the new unobtainable thing is this soft glam, I go to rooftop bars kind of energy. And every single time that it shifts, we see a lot of clones trying to replicate whatever that unobtainable thing is. And I think that's when it comes off as manufactured and like bitchy.
I was gonna say, when I think about like a woman like in status and bitchiness, it makes me think of that Queen Latifah movie, Just Right, and her sister. And she was like, I think that like in regards to status, because she didn't really have status, she was kind of just entitled. And just wanted a rich man to take care of her and spend all his money. And she was like a real like gold digger. She was a real bitch, but she didn't have much status, like education or like money, like or anything.
But you know what, Hannah, she probably had, which is going to lead me into my next question: beauty.
Right.
You find that beautiful women are more bitchier than not such a beautiful. When I say beautiful, I mean, I feel like every woman probably feels like they're beautiful, but those super gorgeous women who are just naturally beautiful women. And I'm not necessarily talking about the description you gave, Mo, with the BBLs and stuff, but let's of course, when they get body work done, they feel like they are entitled to certain things. But just even in the face, and that could be fake and made up, as Isa Bukula said, fake. But do we think that the gorgeous women are the ones that are going to be a little bit more bitchier?
Yeah, it's almost like status. Some women can like correlate status to their looks. So I'm naturally beautiful. I don't need makeup, but when I put it on, it's like times 10. Or, I'm naturally beautiful, so that might equal to, a prettier. When you think of the typical mean girl, it's usually a drop dead gorgeous girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't really see like women who, you can be beautiful and humble, but typically a mean girl you'll see is naturally gorgeous, naturally beautiful. So it's almost like that is equated to the prettier, the more just bitchier.
I was just gonna say, one is bitchiness does not have a tax bracket. And I don't even think that it's really a matter of necessarily, like I've known unattractive women where I'm like, why does she think she should act like this? You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's more of a mentality. And for whatever reason, sometimes it's their upbringing, sometimes, it's the company that they keep. Sometimes it's an illusion. Sometimes that it's like, I feel like I have to act like a bitch so that I feel superior, or I feel more attractive, or I feel in control. But I don't think that there's really a type. I think that they come in so many different forms. Yeah. Even like when you're at work and you'll see somebody who's nice to you, but they're not nice to other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like, yeah, they're not mean to me, but yeah, like you're a bitch. Like, why are you like that?
Yeah. Eva,
yeah, I really think that we've come to the end of that lesson, in society. I think we're at the end of that lesson, where it used to be mysterious, where there's this trend, just like the young lady was saying, about the superficial, unattainable personality or image. And then when you get there, it's a lump of coal, in a Christmas present box. You understand? Mm-hmm. It's wrapped up really nice. It has a bow on it. It has the perfect, look to it, but it's a lump of coal when you get there, Mm-hmm. So I think that brothers are really figuring it out, that, yeah, that looks great, but it's a lump of coal. Sooner or later, everybody catches on to the gimmick,
Mm-hmm.
So We're at the point now where that whole be a fierce bitch and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's cool, but where's that gonna get you? You know, because sooner or later somebody's gonna find out that it's not that you have boundaries, it's that you have a fence to make people think that there's something valuable behind it. You know,
Well,
you're portraying something.
right, you're right. And I think that we get that part, but I think also for some reason it's about for men, this is my opinion. I feel like, why do men feel like if they get the bitchy girl, they've established or achieved something? It's a bragging right to their homeboys, you know, to their friends. I got her. You mean the one that never wanted to talk to us, the one that didn't give us the time of day, the one that won't, you know, that's a bitch? Yep, I got her. You know?
It's a hunting trophy. It's a hunting trophy. You couldn't catch the rabbit, you couldn't catch the deer, but I did. So that makes me a well-skilled hunter. I'm a better hunter than you. That's all it is.
Yeah, you said it yourself when you said bragging rights. And the thing about it is, even if you're not somebody, so it's an ego thing. Unfortunately, we get in spaces, we go through periods where our ego is doing the leading. And if when we're in that space, we make decisions based on feeding our ego. And that's one of those things that feeds your ego times 10, because it's like, yeah, everybody tried to holler at her. She shoots everybody down. And it's because like you said, she's the mean girl. Not because she shoots everybody down. It's really because she's a bitch and she shoots everybody down. Because you can be with someone who doesn't entertain other people, but
Right.
she's still nice. But she's still a nice woman.
Right.
And so it's a different approach. You have to be more authentic to end up with someone who is being authentic with you, as opposed to just a target. But yeah, for the most part, when it's somebody that, anytime that you pursue someone who you don't like, it's ego. Because you don't even like her.
They don't like her. They just like to chase. So then are you saying the bitch is good enough for the hunting game to hunt, but she's not good enough to wife?
That's the part that they keep. They just won't pay attention to that. They just refuse to pay attention to that. Men are not sophisticated. We are very simple. There's an up button and there's a down button. That's it. It's nothing else to figure out. We are up and down. We don't go up, around, zigzag. You got to interpret this, decode that. We are very simple. They tend to think, some of them, let me be correct, some of them tend to think that because they're being pursued, or because there's somebody in the DMs, or somebody trying to sleep with them, somebody who's going all out to try to, catch the rabbit, you understand, that means she's valuable. No, it doesn't. It means that he's using his instincts to feed his ego, just as, was being described, to test his theory about himself. Do I still got it? Can I still catch the rabbit?
Don't just go past that. I have to. Ooh, that's a deflation, ladies. So if a man jumps in our DM, it's basically women need to get off their high horse and don't look at it as they special. It's a matter of this man is basically chasing and fulfilling something for his ego right now.
Yeah, because that post-nut clarity is going to bring the wisdom back. You know what I'm saying? You're going to the ego, but post-nut clarity, that wisdom's going to come down and you're going to be enlightened right there instantly. You're going to be enlightened. You're going to be like, damn, what I'm doing here.
Certain animals you tame and certain animals you kill. It's just for the kill. And so the tamer ones are those women that we're actually pursuing because we want to deal with them. We can see a future with them. But the other one just come chasing you down. Just, you don't have the same fate as the one I'm saying.
The funny thing is, those confident women, the ones you claim you're not going to wife, she will get her claws in you and make you wife her. When she realizes he's passed the test, he'll do. Do you ever see yourself? Could you ever see yourself settling down and marrying that overly confident, assertive, independent woman?
So I think the problem is we're using words that are not negative, and we're putting them in a negative space, because confidence isn't negative. Being assertive isn't negative. And it was another word that you used. What was the independence isn't negative. It's how you utilize all of those traits that determines how we view you. Because a woman with her own, there's nothing unattractive about a woman who makes her own money. There's nothing unattractive about a woman who has her own house and her own car. There's nothing unattractive about that. What's unattractive is the way she acts because of the things that she's accumulated. That's the part that makes them unattractive or a bitch. Like, just because you're independent doesn't make you a bitch. Being a bitch is what makes you a bitch. Regardless of what you've accomplished, it's not the accomplishments that have made you that way.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, what you were saying, that, you know, that confident, that independent woman, you know, she might make you wife her. I think that in a lot of cases, if it's a woman who, she don't give people the time of day because this and that reason, and she do decide to give somebody the time of day, and he finds out why, like, dang, like, she's really awesome, like, she's really a good woman. I see why she's being stiff on everybody, because she got a lot of great qualities that she's not just about to give to just anybody. Like, so.
And I think that, yeah, that's what one of the gentlemen said. I think it was Will, that, you know, she can have all those qualities, but she might not necessarily. She could just be turning away all the other guys because she's just genuinely not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Finally gives you the opportunity, you realize, man, she's really cool, you know. So yeah, and thank you, Hannah, for that. But it goes back to Will, to follow up with your last statement, when you said, I'm using these words, but, you know, all positive words, but it all depends on how you're using it. I guess that goes back to the original root of it, the term bitch. It all depends on how you're using it. It could be empowering, right? But it can also be degrading.
Right, because I remember we used to be divas.
Right. Will, you saying?
I just said there's two sides to the same coin.
Two sides to the same coin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the term of endearment, you know, like, you know, where inside we say, you know, niggas, but, you know, in a lot of ways it could be inflammatory if it's misused by people that's not inside, you know.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
That's so true. Do you guys think that cultural background influences the word bitch?
There are bitches in every race.
Case closed. But not more of, because I know Hannah said it used to be diva. I feel like for other cultures, they use the word diva. But for Black women, they use the word bitch. Have y'all noticed that in the workplace?
I very, very rarely hear diva used by in any space anymore. But the thing is, it's not the word, it's the meaning. So even if I say, oh my God, I don't like working with her, she's such a diva, what do you think I mean?
She's being a bitch.
That's my point. It's not the word, it's the meaning. So it doesn't matter if I say she's being a diva, if I say she's being a bitch, if I say she's annoying. Like it what matters is they all mean the same thing in that context.
You know, African American women determine how words are put in context culturally, and then other women pick it up. So it's African American women that determines what the word means in context over time.
Well, let's take a listen to this.
Not necessarily mean as being rude or obnoxious, but not making things too easy for them.
So, is this true?
I would just say that I don't necessarily. We generally do not like people that are mean. Most people don't like people that are mean-spirited. So even mean people don't like other mean people. You know, so I don't really necessarily agree with the statement that men love bitches, but I do get the where the idea comes from. But I don't necessarily agree that that's what men like. Men like women, and we like women that are nice.
That's debatable.
I think, yeah, we don't. I agree. I don't think we like bitches. I think more so the sentiment is that we like women that have some standards, morals, and exclusivity to themselves. That's what I think. That's what bitches have that been like. Exclusivity of, okay, well, and I think if a woman's exclusive, if you're exclusive in one form, I think you're exclusive all around. So you might even be exclusive, like when it comes to like yourself, you might be like, hey, like I'm about to give everything straight up. If you argue that to the rest of the world, what's stopping you to it? I don't think it's gonna be like one of those like, oh, you know, once I get you, I'll automatically have all of you. I think you're still gonna be exclusive. Certain things you're gonna have rollout. If I'm breaking down new features and stuff. Every time I unlock a new level or whatever of trust within you, or like a relationship, what you start to do. So yeah, this exclusivity is I feel like that's why we said plus bitches.
Yeah, I think. Well, what I'm thinking is that no man wants to stay with that or keep that unless it's a means of him having his ego elevated or lifted up. You know, while he doesn't have a way to lift his own ego up. But it's just game, you know, to hunt and then discard. Because when you get there, it's just a lump of coal in it. So I think it's much better if a human being focuses on their values, being authentic, and leading with the intuition and the values, not trying to be a beat, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think insecure men love bitches. I think, like it's been mentioned a few times today, it's about an image a lot of the times, and if you can obtain something unobtainable, it gives you status. And I don't really think the book is about like in the beginning, it's a double entendre. I don't think it quite literally is about men loving bitches, but I would compare the book to 48 Laws of Power. Every man in the world loves that damn book.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like you said, it's a game. I think the book is just about how to leverage certain aspects of like certain social skills and social environments to manipulate the situation to get what you want. And I don't think that the book is really about a long-lasting marriage kind of relationship. I think it's, you know, using certain social skills and social cues and leveraging that to get what you want.
But I definitely challenge you guys to go and look up the topic on whatever, you know, platform, social media you have, especially even on TikTok, which is where I found a lot of information. And we only took a listen or look at a few of the videos, but there's a lot of videos on there, guys, where it's from men and women. But what it is in particularly is the women's video. Some of these girls are giving the wrong advice out there.
Oh, and another thing, stop being nice to these men. They don't want no nice woman. They want somebody that's mean to them. You over there trying to figure out what to do, helping him in situations and scenarios, things coming up in his life. You look like Pete Mission. That's what you look like. Don't help no grown man. Don't help no grown man. Hear me when I say this, and don't be nice to no grown man. Men love mean women. You being nice to him ain't gonna make him nice to you. All it's gonna do is make him act worse.
You giving advice out here to these younger girls, and you're gonna get a lot of people just messed up because it's like, what I hate is seeing some of my people that look like me giving me the advice, and then now I look like you. I'm a black lady. I go and start treating my black men like that, and now what do we have? It continues to be multiplied, and it's just not the right advice. The book is not necessarily saying that, or even these videos should not be saying be a mean bitch and to play these games and don't call them back and don't be nice to them. Where is that at? Why can't you be nice? That's what I wanted to discuss this for, because there's a lot of videos out there that's putting a spin on it.
I just was going to say, I mean, I've never heard of the book until today, but to me, just from what I've heard tonight, it seems like the book, to me, is a good idea for women to read, because it seems like it almost promotes or helps you with confidence, like setting standards, allowing or demanding more, just so you're not, selling yourself to the devil, so to say. Like, you are wanting more for yourself. So I don't know, maybe it just seems like it will teach you techniques to use or to pay attention to, so that you can actually get what you're looking for. Because it just seems like a lot of women are, what is the word I'm trying to use? They are out here with low self-esteem or insecure, and, just not, I can't even find my words tonight, but
And
because I've been drinking.
girls,
So.
they're giving,
Yeah.
they're selling out their souls. They're doing whatever they feel like a man wants them to do, and they probably normally wouldn't do, just to be picked, just to say they have somebody.
Yeah, sadly.
Hannah,
I was gonna say that with the message being spread on social media, and you said that some women are giving out the wrong advice, like that goes right back to the whole facade thing, because how does a woman know, oh, well, if you be nice to him, he's just gonna do this and that to you? Well, they're probably speaking from experience, or from one of their friends' experience or something like that. They're like coming from a hurt place. So being mean to a man can feel like power. It could feel like like I was mentioning before, overcompensating for my hurt, overcompensating for, things that a man has done to me in the past. So now that I'm mean to him and I'm getting a different response, that makes me feel powerful. That makes me feel better than I did whenever I was being nice to him and he did me wrong. But, all of it really doesn't matter if you're not a good person, whether or not you're good or not. If you're not a good person and a person's looking for longevity, they're not going to stick around with just any old mean person. If you're a good person, then be good. Don't put on this facade of being mean if that's not who you really are. You're just doing it just because being nice didn't work with the wrong person. So I think it's just a lot of confused people, and people that are confused or hurt spreading a hurt message.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're spreading hurt message. And it's funny. Here's the ironic thing, guys. You have some of these women that wear the image of a mean girl, but they are just as sweet as can be. Or behind closed doors, they are the pick-me girl for their man. They give you the perception that they mean, but they really are doing it, all for their men. I remember Cam Newton's girlfriend. Her name is Jasmine Brown. She was pretty big, well-known influencer. And she was always talking about, this is when she was single, ladies don't be out here running after these men and, boss bitch and all this. She was that example, had the following, ladies, get your paper, fuck these men, whatever, excuse my language. And she did all that, and then she got with Cam Newton. And her whole channel just changed. She rubs his feet. She cooks his food. She runs a nice tap bath water with rose petals. And now she on there telling y'all how to treat y'all man.
Yeah, I remember that.
She completely changed. And I'm like, this was the bitch who got the king. She got the prize. And she done switched up and became a little Miss Princess. And so maybe that's what we have to do. You have to know how to do it. Change it up or something. I don't know. Anybody want to comment on that?
Well, the question is, after we've seen who Cam Newton is and how he moves, is he even a catch? Is he really a catch?
Well, it's funny because I follow her. I've been following her for a long time, and she just did some stand up, and she was saying when a man come up and he put that bag in your face, you'll see how different things are. She said things get real different. It's not even about the character of the man. It's about she was talking about, well, he got that big income, so he made me sit down somewhere and rub his feet.
Oh.
What she was saying.
Oh, so it's the money. People can be bought.
Yep.
Your cooperation can be bought.
Pretty much.
Wow. And so then you know who I'm talking about. That's funny. So yeah, they could start off as bitches, and I think Jasmine's still hoping to get wifed. She hasn't got wifed. I don't think she will, but
No,
I think yeah. But they could start off as the mean girl or the bitches, but some of them really truly are not that way with their partner, and some are. But I definitely wanted to have this show. Thank you guys so much to my panelists for being on. Don't be mean. It's not about being mean. It's about being your authentic self and being nice to your mate, or being nice to the opposite sex, or whoever you're trying to go after. Show them your true authentic self, and if they can't fall in love with that, they don't deserve you.
Exactly.
I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Make a comment. Let's talk about it. More discussions. We'll bring it back and continue to have dialogue on this. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and positions of Shannon P., the host, and the business associated with this podcast. Shannon P. and the Can You Relate podcast crew are not responsible for any statements made by guests and do not endorse any opinions shared unless explicitly stated.